June 1st, our typically quiet community was tragically shaken by a reckless and violent act. A mass shooting that has deeply affected us all. This horrific event disrupted the peace we cherish and has left an indelible mark on our hearts. Our first priority was to identify, arrest, and charge the individuals responsible for this horrific act. Parallel to that was to conduct a thorough and complete investigation to ensure successful prosecution. Since that day, an extraordinary team of over 150 law enforcement officers and support staff has worked tirelessly to investigate and bring clarity to this devastating incident. I want to take this opportunity to extend my heartfelt gratitude to every member of this team, as well as to all of our law enforcement and first responder partners, whose dedication has been nothing short of heroic. When I arrived on the scene that Sunday morning, I was immediately met with the outpouring support from federal, state, and local elected officials, each offering assistance and resources to aid our response and investigation efforts. Special Agent in Charge, James Barnacle of the FBI, called to inform me that he was en route from D.C. and would be there by 2:30 p.m., asking what support was needed. Director Chip Hawley of the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation and Assistant Director Morrow about all law enforcement also reached out promptly, offering full support and resources. I also received similar offers of assistance from our local police chiefs and from my fellow sheriffs. What began that morning quickly evolved into one of the most comprehensive investigative operations I have witnessed in my 37 years in law enforcement. Agencies from multiple jurisdictions and disciplines came together seamlessly, collaborating as though they had worked side by side for many years, when in fact many of them had never met before. I want to personally thank the following agencies for their critical roles in this ongoing investigation: Pickering Police Department, Maiden Police Department, Newton Police Department, Catawba County Emergency Medical Services. Those folks went into a hot zone that they're not trained for. They were brave and courageous. The Catawba County Emergency Management, Federal Bureau of Investigation, North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation, North Carolina Alcohol Law Enforcement, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, the United States Marshal Service, Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department, Lenore Police Department, Statesville Police Department, the North Carolina Highway Patrol, Gaston County Police Department, the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office in Minnesota, the Caldwell County Sheriff's Office, Alexander County Sheriff's Office, Burke County Sheriff's Office, Iredell County Sheriff's Office, and Lincoln County Sheriff's Office, and our District Attorney Scott Raleigh and his amazing staff. Their commitment and professionalism have been instrumental in our pursuit of justice. I also want to thank the great citizens of Catawba County for their patience, their support, and their confidence. I will forever be grateful. We will continue to work diligently and transparently to provide updates as the investigation progresses. Our community safety remains our highest priority. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is James Barnacle with the Federal Bureau of Investigation here in North Carolina. I want to thank Sheriff Brown from the Catawba County Sheriff's Office for leading this investigation, and all the partner agencies that were just listed at state, federal, and local level. Partnership and commitment is the most important thing to preventing, deterring, and investigating violent crimes. The charges that are being announced today are the result of weeks of continuous work alongside our law enforcement partners here and out in our communities. I want to emphasize that FBI will support the Catawba County Sheriff's Office, their investigators, and the District Attorney's Office led by Scott Riley with their prosecution throughout the remainder of this investigation and the prosecution of these individuals. One of the FBI's core priorities is to crush violent crime. That involves a focus on destroying gang activity and dismantling criminal enterprises. The way to accomplish this goal is for law enforcement agencies to work together. What we bring on this investigation, over 100 interviews were conducted by FBI agents along with local partners. Special agents, intelligence analysts, and other FBI professional staff are working on this case daily. You may remember the FBI's evidence response team was at the home on Walnut Acres Drive for 4 days. They used advanced technology and tools to collect evidence and document the crime scene. Evidence from the scene was sent to the FBI laboratory in Quantico, where it will be prioritized for processing. Special teams are also working on interactive exhibits, including models of the crime scene and other investigative aids to detail the tragic events that carried out that Saturday night, early Sunday morning. The team will also account for bullet trajectory. There were around 80 rounds fired that day. Sadly, bullets hit victims. Others went into houses. They burned in the roof, skipped off concrete, and bounced off cars parked in the yard. People that pull a trigger, the bullet doesn't care where it goes. They have a responsibility, and they're going to face justice. The FBI is committed to working with and continuing to support the Sheriff's Office and our law enforcement partners as this case moves forward. And if evidence of federal crime is uncovered, we will consult the United States Attorney's Office for the Western District of North Carolina if federal charges are appropriate. The U.S. Attorney Wes Ferguson and I speak quite often about this investigation, and we are looking to charge those federally. Thank you for your time today and for being here. Thank you, Sheriff Brown, for your commitment to this county that is safer because of the work you do. I will now turn this over to State Bureau of Investigation, SEC Laws.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here. My name is Chris Laws. I'm the Special Agent in charge for the Northwestern District of the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation. The mission of the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation is simply to serve. We're here to serve the citizens of this great state and work with our fellow law enforcement agencies at the local, state, and federal level to fight crime, arrest those responsible, and bring them to justice while working with our district attorney's office, and especially in this case, Mr. Riley's office. The SBI would like to thank and extend our sincere gratitude to all of our partner agencies, from the Catawba County Sheriff's Office, the City of Hickory Police Department, the FBI, ATF, North Carolina ALE, and all the citizens for their collective efforts in bringing those responsible to justice. This is the epitome of collaboration and success, with everyone working towards the same common goal. Additionally, I'd like to let everyone know, due to a scheduling conflict, Director Hawley, as you heard mentioned earlier, wishes to express his apologies for not being in attendance today and offers continued full support with all the SBI resources for this case, the state of North Carolina, and all cases to fight crime. The SBI has been in an all-hands-on-deck mode since the senseless incident occurred on the early morning hours of June 1st. 4 of the 8 districts in the state of North Carolina have been working on this case. Currently, there's 22 agents still working on this case, and not to mention the numerous non-sworn personnel in various capacities that have been assigned to work on this investigation. They've already logged in excess of over 700 hours, and during this time, these outstanding men and women of the SBI have used their specialized training, their specialized equipment, expertise, and resources on this case to work scenes that you heard the FBI mention. We work collaboratively together, locate and arrest suspects, interview, and follow up on hundreds of leads with our partners. This was truly a community-involved and collaborative effort to bring it to this point that we're in currently. This case has demanded significant resources while still fulfilling and working other investigations that you all have covered in the news. We know there's much more work to be done, and the SBI is committed to pursuing this case until all individuals involved have been held accountable for their involvement and role in this heinous crime. The SBI is extremely proud of the partnerships we have fostered with local, state, and federal agencies to identify, investigate, and swiftly apprehend those who are believed to have caused this tragic event. As mentioned, there's still much work still ahead to be done, and the SBI will continue to work diligently on this case with our partners and the Catawba County Sheriff's Office until every lead has been exhausted, every player is in custody, and it has been processed through the justice system with the District Attorney's Office. Thank you. Turn it over now to Assistant Director Bailey.
Good morning. My name is Israel Morrow, Assistant Director for the North Carolina Alcohol Law Enforcement Division. I want to say on behalf of Director Brian House that we are here to assist and do what we can do to help the Catawba County Sheriff's Office and our partners that are here. Since this senseless and avoidable incident has taken place, our agents out of our new office have been working on this case day in and day out, and I do want to thank them and the team here that for their appreciation for their work. The core mission of the North Carolina Alcohol Law Enforcement is to prevent alcohol-related harm and reduce violence through targeted enforcement and strategic partnerships, and that's how we were able to arrest the 2 gentlemen for promoting and hosting the party the night of the event. You know, alcohol still remains a major contributor to crime, with data showing it is a factor in approximately 40% of all violent offenses. In this case, ALE is working alongside and partners to investigate violations relating to the unauthorized distribution of alcohol and other associated crimes connected to the event's organization and operation. Our priority is public safety, just along with everybody that is here today. Events that operate outside the law create risk for communities. ALE will continue to take action to hold individuals accountable and to prevent further violence and harm. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Scott Riley. I am the elected district attorney for Burke, Caldwell, and Catawba counties. I stand before you today in the aftermath of a horrific and senseless act of violence that occurred on June 1st, an event that has shaken our community to its core. What began as a gathering of people simply enjoying time together ended in bloodshed. This is something that no one ever expects in a community like ours. On June 1st, 12 individuals were injured. These were innocent people who had simply gathered to enjoy themselves. One of those victims tragically lost his life. What happened was not only unthinkable, it was deliberate, it was coordinated, and it was intended to cause mass harm. what happened was senseless. There was simply no justification, none whatsoever, for firing into a crowd of people. Since that night, the men and women of the Catawba County Sheriff's Office have worked tirelessly and relentlessly to investigate this act of violence and to bring those responsible to justice. They have been joined by dedicated partners from the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. In fact, the FBI was on scene within hours of the shooting, and I want to personally thank Special Agent in Charge James Barnacle, who flew in from Washington, D.C., and arrived within 12 hours of the shooting to personally oversee the FBI's response. That kind of dedication speaks volumes. It speaks volumes about the seriousness of this case, and it speaks volumes about the partnerships that protect our community. Yesterday, after a thorough and ongoing investigation, the Catawba County Grand Jury returned true bills of indictments against 7 individuals in connection with this mass shooting. As I announce each indictment, you will see the individual's photograph displayed behind me. Gary Nathaniel Killian was charged with 1 count, or was indicted with 1 count of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder and 63 counts of attempted first-degree murder. In addition, he was also indicted with 7 additional counts of attempted first-degree murder from the unrelated incident we call the Party City shooting that occurred approximately a month and a half prior to the incident on June 1st. Keandre O'Neal Mack is also charged with 1 count of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder and 63 counts of attempted first-degree murder. Tolan Huff Jr. is also charged, indicted with 1 count of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder and 63 counts of attempted first-degree murder. He also was additionally indicted with 2 counts of accessory after the fact to attempted first-degree murder for his role at the Party City incident approximately a month and a half before June 1st. Zachary Michael Bates, indicted with 1 count of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder and 63 counts of attempted first-degree murder. Isaiah Kane Mitchell, we've also referred to him as Zay Harris in previous press conferences. He was indicted with 1 count of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder and 63 counts of attempted first-degree murder. Charles Riddell Kincaid III was indicted with 1 count of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder and 63 counts of attempted first-degree murder. Additionally, Zoe Braswell has been indicted with 4 counts of accessory after the fact to attempted first-degree murder for her role in aiding those involved after this incident occurred. These indictments make a major step toward accountability, but they are just the beginning. Chief Assistant DA Tim Gould will lead the prosecution of these cases. Mr. Gould has already been working very closely with law enforcement throughout this investigation, and he will ensure that those responsible are held fully accountable in a court of law. Catawba County is a beautiful and it's a wonderful place to live. It's a place that I have chosen to call home and raise a family. This is not the kind of thing that we expect to see here. But while we may not be immune from such senseless acts, I can assure you we are prepared. Our law enforcement officers have shown extraordinary professionalism and resolve. I am incredibly proud of them. I am incredibly proud of the work they've done night and day to get us to this point. Our law enforcement officers have truly shown us what it means to serve. My hope is that today sends a clear message. Violence like this will never be tolerated in Catawba County. We will seek justice for every victim, and we will hold each perpetrator accountable. Thank you very much.
Good morning. Thanks to the media for coming. I want to offer a status on our investigation. hit a few key points. First of all, as you've heard, this investigation remains active. It'll be active for the indefinite future. And we can announce this morning from our investigation that this was a premeditated and seemingly unprovoked attack, what has been referred to as the hillside shooters. You've also heard reference to the poolside shooters. I want to clarify that a bit this morning. The people that were at the party, some of them were armed with their own weapons. When the attack initiated, multiple persons on the property at 1125 Walnut Acres Drive returned fire. Those persons were scattered about the property in its entirety and not just centered around the pool itself. There were several subsequent occurrences of gunfire in the minutes following the initial attack. We've recovered multiple calibers of shell casings from the residence. There's possibly more shooters than the shell casings would initially account for. We've recovered multiple firearms from the residence and the outside perimeter of that location. We are still requesting information from the attendees of the party and from the public in general concerning those that might have fired weapons from 1125 Walnut Acres Drive in response to the initial attack, in hopes of better discerning exactly what occurred in their response. As everyone's aware, there's a homicide that occurred during this tragic incident. I want to address that this morning. Our investigation has revealed that the person responsible for killing Sean Hood was attempting to return fire at the hillside shooters and inadvertently struck Sean Hood, who was on the property there at 1125 Walnut Acres Drive. Our investigation has, into that point, and many others, has been thorough. We've been next year in constant consultation with our district attorney's office. In North Carolina, the laws concerning self-defense are clear. Our investigation has shown that the person responsible for Mr. Hood's death was not intending to target Mr. Hood, and again was targeting the hillside shooters. As such, and at this time, there's not going to be any charges pursued criminally against the person responsible for Mr. Hood's death. We have met with Mr. Hood's family last week and have explained all of these developments to the family. Our sentiments here at the Sheriff's Office and our partner agencies remain with the family of Sean Hood. You've heard a lot about bullet trajectory. That's certainly some fine work done by the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We are heavily relying on that work to better answer some questions that are still outstanding as of today. When that information is available to us, we will review it and then consult with the District Attorney's Office about perhaps second and subsequent rounds of indictments for charges such as shooting into an occupied dwelling. Again, the investigation is continuing. We are partnering, as you've heard, with other local, state, and our federal agencies. We are consulting with the DA almost daily. And our folks remain on holding everyone fully accountable and bringing all of the people responsible for this to justice. And with that, I'll take your questions. Okay.
So there were 6 shooters, and I think we had Braswell who was helping afterwards. Were they all members of some type of gang? And what was why did they go there? Like, what was the purpose of it?
Other than Ms. Braswell, it's my understanding that each of the persons involved are gang affiliated. There has been several admissions made concerning gang motivations for this attack. We also understand that that was not the only motivation for the attack. Yes, ma'am.
I was looking through the indictments before this, and they listed a Kylie Simpson's charged in this. Can you talk about that person?
Mr. Simpson's not charged in this incident.
Okay.
He's charged in the incident, I believe, that he referred to as the Party City shooting, and he was charged in that occurrence. I think I have the name.
And just to be clear, so the person who inadvertently shot the victim, was he a member of the gang?
I'm not releasing that information.
Was this a gang on gang thing? Like, were there gang members from a different group at the party?
It's not that straightforward or clear cut. Certainly the people involved in the attack are gang affiliated, as best evidence shows us. Some of the people at 1125 Walnut Acres Drive also, we believe, has some gang affiliation. Whether it was rival gang on gang is still unclear to us. That is not the entire motivation.
But the 6 that you've indicted here, they were all part of the same group, the same gang?
I'm not saying that.
Okay.
I'm saying that each of the 6 that are indicted, as Ms. Braswell, we have information that they're affiliated with gangs. Yes, sir.
When this first started out, do we have any indication if the original 6 shooters were targeting a specific individual or a specific number of individuals at that party, or were they seeking to just cause a ruckus at the party?
We do have information that there was some individualized animosity against one or more party attendees. However, the plan, as it's been unraveled during this investigation, was to shoot up the party in its entirety for the purposes of carrying out their intent.
When we last talked with you, I think you said between 8 to 10 shot. Do you have clarification on the number actually shot?
We do, yes. So there were 12 total injuries. 11 of those 12 suffered gunshot wounds. Mr. Hood certainly is the decedent. And then 10 others suffered gunshot wounds, with one other person being injured during their flight from the president. Any other questions anybody have? All right, thank you.
I was going to say,
Go ahead.
Mr. Hood, I know you were also investigating whether he was a promoter of this party, or you guys mentioned that last time. Any movement on that or anything you can share?
And we're still working to fully understand Mr. Hood's involvement and reasons for it.
And the homeowners had any charges in connection with the homeowners, or they weren't there, right?
Not as of today concerning the homeowners. Any other
And
questions?
did they pay the homeowners to rent that property for the party?
We're looking into that as well. We understand that some monies were being charged to attend the party. Whether or not the property itself was rented is still under investigation. Yes, ma'am.
The 63 charges, is that representing every single person who was at the party?
No. So we use facial recognition technology to have determined that over 100 people total were at the party at different points. The 63 indictments this morning speak to those persons that unfortunately were in the line of fire from the hillside shooters. And that represents those indictments.
You say you use facial recognition?
Yes, sir.
How did that work? You took pictures at the party, or they picked video from the party, and that's how you use AI or something to recognize the faces? How did that work?
That's largely correct. Video from the residence itself has been collected, and we've used facial recognition software available to law enforcement to understand and discern who those people were identified. Yes, sir.
When you refer to the hillside shooters, or with the indictments today, are you saying that there were 6 up on that hillside shooting down? Can you explain that?
So the investigation reveals there were 4 actual shooters. One of the 6 was a driver, and then another a conspirator in the planning, preparation, and carrying out of the strategy.
Can you specify who was the driver and who was the conspirator?
So I'm not going to make any statements concerning the culpability of specific defendants. We're trying to preserve their right to verify.
And according to the search warrants, they started planning this days before this event. They started talking about, hey, let's go shoot up this place.
That's what the evidence shows. Thank you.